Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
PremierBilliards.com. Exceptional cues, cases, and accessories from top-tier brands. Want it? Need it? Find it. PremierBilliards.com.
Mr. Pinozzo, sir.
What's up?
How are you, buddy? I'm surprised you show your face around here after the terrible calls you made yesterday, buddy.
What calls did I make?
Well, I mean, we really dogged it looking at the final 64, what they went to, but you know.
Yeah, I never remember from 1 minute to the next what the hell I said.
Yeah, you got deniability because of your age, Mike.
I didn't pick Petri Makinen to go to dump Sanchez Ruiz, and you know.
How strong is that guy playing? I mean,
yeah, he dumped young little Kachi and Francisco, so good for him. And now he gets Skyler.
Good showing for sure. Skyler is the first American through to the final 16. Congratulations to him. First American. Shane and Tyler are battling it out, so we're guaranteed to have at least one more, Mike. And
right,
then,
at least two. Oscar's still playing. He's 9-8 behind Mickey Krause, and Federer's waiting to play.
So Federer's looking to play against – Federer almost lost earlier. He was down. It was a hell of a match, at least from watching the score. Let me see. And then but yeah, Sky looked good against Ignacio, who was
really good
coming out of that part of the bracket. It's been a great morning so far, Mike, full of a lot of fun pool to watch and pretty much what we expected. Just seeing the way that the draw ended up being for the final 64.
Did they start Federer's match? Is that what someone just said?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I thought they were holding. I thought they were. Oh yeah, Federer's playing right now.
Is it on DAZN then?
Oh
no, they'd be on TV on secondary table, right? So they'd be on YouTube.
Yes, they're on the YouTube. They're on the Matchroom Live on YouTube. Federer's behind 1-0 against Bernie Regalario.
Bernie made it through as well, beating Marvin in a hill battle to start off the morning, Mike.
Yeah.
What would you take away from the matches that were in the round of 64, Mike? What were some thoughts for you?
Well, you know, it's tough for us to sit here. We go with a lot of chalk when we're talking about it, but, you know, it's hard to pick which surprises are going to be, but there's always a ton of them. Petri Makinen, Tobias Bongers.
Tobias, big win, starting off with the win over Jason, and then now he's through to the final 16, Mike.
He is through the final 16. He beat Jeffrey Road up 10-5 in round of 32. So, I mean,
it's fucking Hill with Oscar and Mickey. Let's go. Come on.
That means Oscar's breaking.
One time. Let's go. Come on, Oscar.
9 on the snap.
He was
get as lucky as you need to get.
I hate rooting, Mike. I hate cheering because what happens is I get these like my stomach just starts getting into knots and I start feeling like a real fan and it's tough.
Do we need to take a break and come back so you can collect yourself or what?
No. I want this. You're gonna have video of the live emotion when I cuss. You know,
you're not gonna cuss.
Yeah,
you're not gonna cuss. You're gonna be
one way or the other, there's some 4-letter words coming out. So if you're watching, make sure and hit the mute button because it is on.
F yeah or F no.
Yeah. So Americans were the story for me, Mike. Leading into the day, we all knew who got through to the final 64, but they all made it past that first round, which is awesome. Oscar included, played on TV table against Max, and that was probably out of every match that I did kind of expect. That was one that actually happened the way that it did, you know, because
you were talking about yesterday about, you know, which guy's trending in which direction.
Yeah.
Max trending to the left, Oscar trending to the right, and that's what kind of bared out, you know, in today's match. So, there's some good stuff, good matches. Natterberg, you know, showed up again. Then he got beat by Ping-Yiko, but there's no you know.
Our
buddy Victor Big win over
There we
Carlo.
go. That's
Big
the one.
win. Big win over Carlo.
Back-to-back big wins. Who did he face in the round prior? He was facing from Indonesia, Alvin, right? The flavor.
Oh
of the
yeah. Alan and Aguito.
follows that up with a win over Carlo Beato, and it does not get any bigger than that, other than maybe beating like a
And
filler.
he stomped both. He pretty well stomped both of them. He won 10-2, in his early match against and Guido, and then beat Carlo 10-5, which is a pretty significant win. So he's got to be pretty happy with where he's at right now.
By a mile for sure, Mike. And for me, it's kind of it's what we hope for the kid, and we see his talent and his skill set, and so we know what kind of ceiling that he has just based off of what we've seen over the last couple of years. But it really hasn't translated on the matchroom stage.
No,
This could be one of those tournaments where he starts to find his way. And I'll be honest with you, Mike, when I think about, because obviously the table and the pockets has been a topic of conversation throughout, and I want to get into that Niels post here in a little bit. But when you think about tough conditions, I think about guys with really sound mechanics.
right.
I want Taiwanese players, right? Guys who are just fluid, guys who shoot straight, like a Josh type player, right?
Yeah.
I don't think about Victor in that same breath. I'll be honest with you, because he can get a little whippy at times, and we know, some of the issues that he's had when it comes to facing adversity on the table.
Right.
So to get those two wins, especially the win over Carlo, that's the kind of win that could springboard you into a Final Four. And now the expectations that maybe have been there before, I can tell you they're certainly there now, because he's going to be a big topic of conversation.
We're getting a big fuck no out of the Oscar match. Sorry.
Oh, it just ended?
Yep.
Oh, man. Oh,
that's a shame.
10-9. 10-9, Mickey. Fuck. Well, what are you going to do? Good showing by Oscar. Round of 32 is where he's going to finish. We're still going to get two Americans through to the final 64, which is great. Shane is up 6-5 on Tyler Steyer right now. They're in a bit of a battle, and Tyler had his number when they faced most recently at the Texas Open not too long ago, Mike. So I don't think there's any kind of any kind of intimidation factor there. They know
not at all.
Real well. They travel with each other pretty consistently. So I'm expecting to see a match like this, where it's nip and tuck for those two guys for sure. But Mike, I want to talk about the pockets for a little bit, because I don't know if you saw the Niels Fine post on Facebook. Seems to be a lot of opinions one way or the other. So let me get your thoughts on it.
Well, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's like, okay, at what point is enough going to be enough? At what point is it hard and competitive and doesn't mess with the difference between 9-ball and a snooker, where it's just, you just got to shoot straight. You're not doing a lot with the cue ball, and 9-ball is just different, and you don't want the game to change. And that's what I think most players talk about, is like, okay, I don't want to see the game change. Niels talked about spin the ball around the table and working it and cheating the pocket a little bit. And if you get it to the point where there is no pocket to cheat, it changes the integrity of the game, right? So I kind of get the argument. I don't know. I also read Darren's where he said, listen, it's never going to be 4 on the head for every event, because you got table mechanics and the way the tables are set up and one thing or another. So it might be 3-9 one place and one event, and the next event it might be 4.1 or whatever. I don't know what 3.9 is, to tell you the truth. I thought we were talking inches, but so it's I don't want to see it change the game for the players. I don't want to see the cue ball action and the creativity that we've seen in the past get negated by fear of missing the center of the pocket. So if that's the point, and to me, it's, I'm not a player, so what the hell do I know? But it seems like 4 inches is honest. I don't know why you'd have to get the 3-9 or 4-1 or whatever. 4 is a nice round number. It seems really difficult, honest, fair. Um, just say 4 and be done.
Yeah,
Anything under 4 seems like a bit of a stretch to me. It seems like, okay, what are you trying to prove? I mean, players got ego. A lot of them are going to say, sure, the tighter the better. I shoot straight. I want everybody else to have shoot straight. I don't want to hear that stuff. I want to hear what keeps the game the way we like 9-ball, but makes it tough to pocket.
I don't think you're losing a whole lot, to be honest with you, Mike. At least from what I've seen. Now, obviously we see the level of difficulty increase, but as far as like being able to come around with the ball, I'm not seeing that a whole lot. And look, whenever you're playing with new cloth and polished balls, that 4 will play a lot friendlier than what it would. So by having wherever they're at right now, like I'm kind of a fan of it. I can understand where Niels is coming from. I'd imagine nobody knew about this ahead of time enough to go and adjust their tables or be able to train properly or whatever. And so I can see where that level of frustration is. But like whenever people are just pushing back on change, it's usually like an older generation of player versus a younger generation of player. And so like
Yeah,
I'm not
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. I think that I don't think Niels would have ever argued with making the pockets tighter. I think that all the top players will at one point say,
well,
okay,
but he is today.
well, he is today because it's gotten tighter than, I don't think he bitched about 4.5 to 4.25. I don't think he bitched about 4.25 to 4. But if it keeps getting tighter and tighter for the sake of we're making it really difficult, I think what he's saying is, listen, it's a change in the game a little bit. It's not I can't make
No,
a ball.
I think he's already saying that by having it where it's at right now, that it's already changed. That it's
Under
already there.
4.
That,
He's talking
that
about
it's
under
already
4.
that it's already an issue. Not that if you continue to, it'll be an issue. Meaning
Yeah,
it's
for
already
this event, it was an issue. The last
right.
events that have been 4, I haven't heard him complain about. But
No,
this
neither
is
have I.
sub 4.
Yeah,
So, and that's what he's saying. Okay, at some point, you got to draw the line, and that's a logical argument to me. I mean, that makes sense. They know, better than most of us, what's
what's the eye
what's
test
enough
tell
and
you,
what's
Mike?
too much.
What's the eye told you when you're watching these TV table matches?
Um, I don't know. I mean, it's there. It's unforgiving, which is fine. I don't know whether I've seen it change, how guys get from one ball to the next, or shots or position that they've avoided trying to get because they don't think they can cheat the pocket enough, or something like that. I don't know how much of that I've seen. I don't. There's a lot of matches in this event. I haven't
We
seen
talked
enough.
about it earlier. Guys not being able to jam the ball the way that they're used to. Like a Shane type player who we talked about
Yeah,
before
but
live.
that's the shot we talked about Shane missing his 8-ball um, in his match. And, it was down the rail, long shot. He was straight on it. He was trying to get back up table for the 9-ball and tried to power it in and draw the cue ball back. Well, sorry, that's not going to work on these tables. And I don't think it would have worked whether it was 3.9 or 4. That part about it I do like, where you can't jam these things in from long range without being incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
That I don't have a problem with. So, I just don't want to see it, make the game different.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. And listen, I love seeing the movement of the cue ball personally. I do, and I love the creativity as well. But I haven't seen a whole lot of difference, like in certain things. Obviously, people are going to get exposed depending on their stroke and the way they hit the ball, and they're going to have to adjust. And we saw it whenever they went from standard pro tables to 4 inches, right? Because the shots that were automatic weren't automatic anymore, and so you're always going to have that learning curve that's going to continue anytime you make any changes to equipment. But anything adding more drama and excitement to rotation, I just personally I like it a little bit.
I
So,
like drama. I like putting the heat on people. I like making them
yeah,
having to shoot straight. But again, there's a point at which you cross the line, and it's okay. Now we're getting kind of silly.
yeah. I can understand that. Where do you think
So,
it settles then, Mike?
what's that?
Where do you think it's going to settle?
I, I don't know. 4 seems. If everybody's, I would listen to the pros. If they, And Mantro does a pretty good job of that. If they all
Right.
say, listen, as a group, 4 is plenty. Let's just keep it at 4, not change it twice each year for the next 10 years. Or let's leave it at, let's set a benchmark for a time being and say, we're not going to mess with this for 2 years. Then we'll revisit it and just see what happens. I don't want to see it change and argued about. I don't want to hear us talking about it every third tournament.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to get blindsided.
The funny thing is,
that's for sure.
The funny thing is, I saw a post today with former world snooker champion Sean Murphy bitching at the World Snooker Tour for changing the size of making the pockets smaller without consulting the players for the World Championship.
Well, the irony in that is there was talk about pockets being way too forgiving in snooker for the last 6 months, Mike. That there was many tournaments where balls that were just normally do not go in were going in, and so for a world championship like the Crucible, and we all know the prestige that holds with it, I kind of like it. I do.
Well, what he was saying was the players weren't consulted or told about it ahead of time. They just showed up and all of a sudden.
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't want anybody getting blindsided when it comes to, because you want them to be able to train ahead of time, knowing what they're going into.
Yeah, of course.
So especially knowing how mental it is. So that part of it I can see. I'm with you when it comes to a benchmark, whether it's 4 or sub 4, wherever they deem is appropriate. But I'm not upset at the way this tournament's going along personally. And I like the shots that I want to see them bear down a little more. And I want to see them bear down a little more with the shot clock on their ass too.
Yeah,
and I want to see them bear down a little more with the crowd in there as well.
Yeah, and with 250,000 on the line or whatever I
wanted to ramp it up.
Yeah,
ramp it up. Keep the pressure on them. Let's see who the better player is when situations are about as high a gear as they can possibly see, or possibly be. So
let the players help you make that decision, and then, like I said, stick with it for 2 years. And
it seems to be like split, because I've seen conversations on both sides where some are saying yay and some are saying nay. So I think
they're not arguing about making it 4.5 or 4.
No.
No,
but I'm saying like some players are enjoying the way that it is now versus the way that versus the latter is what I'm getting at. So
then next tournament they'll squeeze it a little bit more, and the tournament after that they'll squeeze it a little bit more for the World Championship. They'll squeeze it a little bit more. I just don't want to see it played with.
I wouldn't mind.
I don't want to see them take.
I wouldn't be mad if it was like this at the World Championship.
They wouldn't change the size of the cup in golf. They changed the course a little bit. They're not changing the size of the cup. You can hit it into the same hole. You want to take the Masters and make it tougher? Make the hole half the size. But it just at some point it gets to be almost pointless. It's almost like, what are you trying to prove? These are great, athletes at the game that they choose. Let them be great. I mean, you don't have to. It doesn't always have to be.
It's about drama.
Making a new.
It's about drama. Compelling matches. The twist.
We can make them play blindfolded. I don't care. You want drama? You make them play with an eye patch. Like a piñata, an eye patch over one eye. Whatever you got to have. Whatever it is. I mean,
on one foot.
You can find a million ways. You can find a million ways to do that. But it's like, don't get more clever than you need to be.
I'm not seeing it to a point where I think it's completely out of line. But like I said, the caveat is that with fair warning. Because I want to see these guys. I want to see the best players come in, train to their ability, and I know some guys are just going to take it to a whole other level when it comes.
So every time there's going to be a new tournament, a guy who's practicing home's got to get a new table. He's got to get his table his pockets redone and all that kind of stuff.
Let me get you a napkin and so you can wipe those tears off.
There's a couple. You got the top players. They'll have a table at home and a mechanic will do everything for them for free. You're talking about a tournament with 128 or 256 players. They're not going to have. They're not all going to have the access to, doing that 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch tweak that Mantro wants to make from one tournament to the next. I think that's
where it's talk about benchmarks, and I think a lot of them already had it at 4, so maybe they may have issue with that. Is a fair argument.
Leave it at 4. This is what I've got all new equipment. It's at 4. Let's leave it at 4. Be done.
When's the blindfold tournament going to happen? That's what I want.
I don't know, but I think blindfold will be a little bit tough. I mean, but I think an eye patch will be cool.
Do the Pirate Open? Is that what we're gonna do?
That's right.
Look, like
You know
I've
why
enjoyed it.
pirates wore eye patches?
Why is that, Mike?
You don't know.
Is this one of these dad jokes, Mike?
No. This is legit.
Okay, let's hear it.
'Cause on boats, they would be outside,
Uh huh.
and then they'd have to go down into the hull where it was pitch black,
Uh huh.
and that change of
That transition.
sunlight to dark. Yeah, that way they just moved the eye patch the other eye. They just walk right downstairs. That's legit.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We can't go any higher of a note than where we just hit. That's for sure. And actually, logically, it makes sense.
It does, and I'll save my good pirate joke for another time.
Okay, well, we'll be waiting on pins and needles, Mike, as we are. These scores to finish up. Let me see if I can bring up some of these.
Tyler's ahead. Tyler's up 7-6 on Shane.
Is he?
Yep.
Well, I would guess that'd be
And,
some kind of a.
PS is up 8-7 on Yap, who we were high on.
I'm high on Yep,
Right.
but I told you that was going to be a tough out, Mike. I told you that Pius is the real
No,
winner. I
no
picked
doubt about it.
Yap.
He's playing great.
I picked Yap, but consistency is going to show its head more often than that. All right, Mike, this is the round of 32 here.
32. Yep.
Let's scroll through some of these. Petri takes down Francisco in a bit of in a pretty big upset. Neither of us had
Yep.
Petri winning in 64, let alone in the round of 32. Sky over Jeffrey. Like I said, I was really high on Jeff, although I do root for Sky. But what's that saying for the American captain, Mike? Where do you think, because you look pretty good.
Yeah, well, he finished Final Four here last year, right? So,
Did he?
this is kind of the, it seems in the last year or two, couple of years that just kind of like getting into summer, Sky starts to work into some kind of stroke and starts, playing more often and playing well. Beginning of the year is always a little uneven with events and crapshoots like Derby and things like that. So, this it's good to see him. Good to see him playing. Earning his points.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is not, resting on the fact that he's already in. And listen, he knows that he needs to show some form on the match stage as well. I think he's got expectations of himself, and so it's great to see him and against Jeff for me. That's a really big one. What was that, Mike?
I said your audio got really glitchy there for a minute, but now we're back.
How about now? Is it good now?
Yeah, good enough.
Tang taking down Jonas, Mike, Albin, and Gary Wilson. That's at a nail biter, 8-7.
Well, Gary Wilson's on his way to going up 9-7, and Albin has had a lot of, classic Kodak Albin moments with the head shake and the stopping and looking in the air and whatever. And it's like,
let me tell you something. If there's an ad for the durability of the Revo, just go and show like Albin whacking the shit out of these shafts on a regular basis as he gets tilted, Mike. So
he's gonna be pretty close to tilt if Gary Wilson runs out this rack and goes up 9-7.
Well, that's gonna be one to watch for sure. Bongers, Mike, the young German, another young German. There's too many damn young Germans who play good pool, Mike. But this guy, 10-5 over Jeffrey Rhoda, Copigny 10-3 over Carl Natterberg. Good event by Carl. Fortunsky 10-5 over Dodong. Yeah. Ko-Ping Chung, Mike. I don't know who's going to stop that guy. 10-4 over Oliver. I think he was the first guy through, man. He's just cruising.
Yeah. No, he's on a roll. So is Pinico. I mean, they're both playing like solid pool right now. Then you got Federer playing Bernie right now. They've been on that fourth rack for a long time. That's all I know.
Have they? I haven't been able to watch. I'm looking forward to that Anton and Filler matchup, which is what we were both looking at.
We talked about that yesterday, and it's come to fruition. Yeah. It's going to be the last match of the day. Everything else is pretty much going to be done by the time they get to this.
It'll be the only match left for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is 9-7 in favor of Gary Wilson, but this could go another half hour too. So, that'll be a great match to watch.
Exciting times, Mike, because a lot of guys are looking to put themselves in some kind of Mosconi Cup position midway through the year. Other guys are trying to hold their position, and then you're just going to have guys like we're seeing already that are just going to start to take over, and a couple of decent wins or a strong showing can start to put you in the conversation where you weren't otherwise in the previous 4 months, Mike.
Well, it's been interesting, to watch, this guys fighting for those last automatic spots, because this event is having an impact on who does and who doesn't play in Saudi Arabia. I mean, that field's not set in stone yet. It's top 100. And then
Top 100, yep.
Yeah, so there's jockeying going on right now with guys out of the top 100 or at 102, 103, who all of a sudden, are going to jump into number 98, things like that. So there's something on the line. I mean, there was a post from the Marboys this morning about, was it Ignacio, earned his spot into
The World Championship?
Into the World Championship with his win in the round of 64, I believe it was, when he beat
Wow,
Billy.
that's a big parlay then, because now you got a chance to really roll the dice to get a good score.
Right. So it's there's a lot on the line for these guys still in this event, which is fun. Which makes
Wow.
I wish there would have been more like scoreboard watching from that point. I would have liked to have seen Matchroom play up a little bit more of that.
For sure.
Here's your 90 to 110, and
Yep.
here's how they're moving up and down as we speak. That would have been a really cool thing to follow.
That's a selling point for sure, Mike, and that's something that you're going to be all eyes on the screen, all eyes on the match, because you want to see, especially if that's your guy. I agree with you 1,000,000%. I'd imagine that's something that's going to be talked about going forward. And I wish I knew, because I had no idea. I just thought the 100 were already a lock, and so for him to make a move, congratulations to him. Well deserved too. Definitely should be part of the World Championship. But Mike, I was going to ask you on the Marboys and Filipino players, why wasn't Kyle there?
They mentioned there were two guys who weren't there, Kyle and somebody else, but there's I can't remember what issues Kyle had with not being able to be there, but
Maybe a visa type issue.
I don't think it was like visa issues or anything like that. I think it was. I don't know if it was a personal. Who knows? I don't remember what they said.
Kachi takes a 6-5 lead over Han. Guy's just, a grinder for sure. PS 9-7 over Yap. Tyler's up 7-6 on SVB. Mosconi moves are being made, Mike, and Tyler's in a really good spot already as it is. Let's cruise through and check out these round of 16 matches that are already up. Petri versus Sky, Mike. I know who we're both going to go for in this one, but can Petri continue his run?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he's got to be playing pretty good. I haven't seen him on the TV table yet, so I haven't seen him play. We know he can play. He was Mika's partner for years in World Cup of Pool. In some events he's been at, he's done all right, but he's never really been. I don't think I've ever seen him in the final 8 of a big event or something like that. So, he's playing well enough that Sky's going to have to play well to beat him. So,
with wins like that, you're going to have to respect his game for sure. Because those are both solid wins to get into this position. Petri. And for Sky, having momentum against Jeff, look, I think it's going to be a much better matchup than what I would have thought otherwise had you just said to start the day, hey, this is where they're at, So I'm really going to be enjoying this. Tobias Bongers versus Kopin Yi, Misko Fortunsky versus Koping Chung. Mike, is there any way these Europeans take down the Taiwanese duo?
It's going to be it's a big ask.
Big ask,
especially for a young kid like Bongers. Take on Big Co. But to get to this point, they've proven they're not standing down from anybody. So,
I mean, the win over Jason can certainly boost your confidence to lead into a match with Big Co. And if I were to go and think about who I'd compare it to, like a Ko Pin Yi, Jason would probably be in that same category, Mike. So, for that matter, I'm gonna want to watch and see how Tobias is gonna do. But those guys are just tough to fade, man.
Yeah, the Cole brothers are.
It's
how cool. I think a Cole brother final would be freaking cool.
I think they can only meet in a semifinal, Mike.
I haven't seen a bracket type of.
I think they're on the top side. The top side of the 8, Mike. I'm pretty sure they're on the top side of the 8. So they out of 16. So So they can only 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. Yeah, so they can only get through to a semifinal at best, but or actually a quarterfinal, considering on where they're at, because they'll be facing each other in the next round if they win their respective matchup. So,
Right.
yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but definitely a match worth watching. Look, if I've seen them over the years, if they end up battling each other in the round of 8, I'm going Little Cole all day. I think he's had Big Brother number for quite some time. But look, if you're Sky, I don't know who does Sky face the winner of. I know it's Tang, but hypothetically, if you were to get in, it would be Gary Wilson. So that would really open itself up to favor Sky in that one area, Mike, for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he would look pretty good at that point as far as how you're
Yeah.
lining them up.
Between Petrie, Tang, and Gary Wilson or Albin, you got to like Sky's chances.
Yeah, for sure. Albin's about to make it 9-8, so
we got action.
We got action. Yeah, and Gary Wilson's broke for his last time today, so he's got to get a shot given to him at some point.
More matches are going to be starting again. Well, actually, not more matches. One more match is yet to start, and that is the filler versus.
That is the marquee match of the day.
It doesn't get much. It doesn't get much more juicy than that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a bigger matchup in a round of 32 ever in a tournament, because that could very well be a final. And so for them to meet up in this spot, it's kind of unfortunate, but exciting, and I know I'm going to be watching for sure. What were some other takeaways for you, Mike, for the day?
No, really, just watching watching upsets pop up has been it's just there's a lot of guys who play really good pool, man, and there's and a lot of the Asian players, the guys that we don't see in every lineup. Yap's buddy from Singapore, Leon Han To. He's playing Kachi right now. You had a couple of the other. You've got Tang Liu, right?
Yeah,
from Taiwan. Not the typical Taiwanese name you see, this stage of a tournament.
No, you'd probably go besides the Cole brothers, you think Chang or Wu
or whatever. So I could start going 5 or 6 deep from Singapore, 5 or 6 deep from Taiwan. Guys who are 5 or 6 deep from Germany who are still in the tournament. So it's interesting. There's a lot of new names, that not new names, but names that we're not used to seeing in this part.
Yep, and it's only going to get more exciting as the day goes on, as the matches continue to finish up. I know I can't wait to see what the final 16 is going to look like, Mike. Congratulations to those who've already made it through. Where's Tyler and Shayna? Because I'm about to go sweat that one whenever we get out of here, Mike.
Ooh. Tyler and Shayna are at 7-7.
Actually, I can't because it's not even on the TV table. Fuck.
Tyler and Shayna are 7-7, and Albin just broke and has a.
Look, on behalf of the American fans, we don't want to see the end of Gary Wilson and Albin Ocean. God damn it! Okay, we want to see the end of SVB versus Tyler. We're gonna send a message right away, see if someone can just pop up a Facebook.
What was funny, because I saw the end of Tyler's match against Evil Arts, because they were playing when the cameras was watching the Kachi Mario He match. Yeah. They were like just the first table off to the left. So it was like all shadowy, but you could see, you can't miss Tyler's little haircut. So, and when it was Hill, I knew Tyler was running out because I saw him keep going around the table. And it was pretty funny.
By the way, we got a bunch of stuff the other day from Alex Paguline, that is. Big shout out to him and his team they just sent me just a ton of stuff, Mike, to give away to some of the followers on the page. I got just a ton of gloves to give away, and I got some Paguline chalk somewhere around here too. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys watch the show, go check out Windows Open. I'm going to post the final 16. Let me know who you think is going to win. Anybody who picks the winner, we'll throw you into a drawing, and we'll probably give away a few of these things and ship it out to you. So make sure and go check out Windows Open whenever the final 16 draw is done, and we'll do that. So But yeah, Mike, I'm excited for the Americans. Good showing from them, especially considering how they basically got laughed out of the gym at the Mosconi Cup. So to see them in as a core do well is pretty great, and it leaves
Yeah, it is. It
room
is.
for
I
optimism.
really wish I would have really loved to have seen Oscar pull through.
Agreed.
That would have been 4 in the final 16, which is a quarter.
We ain't seen that in years, Mike. In a long,
16
long
would be
time.
story.
Yeah.
But still, if Federer can win, then we'll have 3 in there. That's still a pretty good showing. So it's all boding well. They're all looking good. So
keep your notifications on. I'll probably go live tomorrow and go through some of the matches as well. Maybe even tonight, late night, just depending on how the draw goes. But anyhow, big shout out to all of our sponsors who help put on the show. And Mike, appreciate you as always, buddy, for coming on and hanging out with us.
Always fun. I got more pirate jokes for tomorrow.
All right, man. If anything else, tune in for that. Yeah, just tune in for that alone. So we'll see you guys later.